Variables, create variables only if specific conditions are met. To start off here, we'll create a variable a, which we'll set equal to a random integer between, say, -5 and 5. Then we're going to create another variable called choose, which doesn't really mean anything, it's just the name I'm giving to this variable, which will be a random variable between 0 and 1. Then we'll create a new variable, b, which will be equal to 2 times a if, and then in a set of parentheses, we'll include the determinating statement here. So if choose is equal to 0. So we need that double equal sign to make that, to check for that equality. So our variable choose will be created. It will either be 0 or 1. In the case where choose is equal to 0, b will be equal to 2 times a. And then b will be equal to 3 times a if choose is equal to 1. So depending on that other random variable, our definition for b changes. We can also use if statements to help define language in the problem. So for instance, we can still rely on that choose variable that we created to define a statement in our problem. So we'll have statement 1 be the statement add the two numbers above if choose is equal to 0. And statement 1 will be subtract the two numbers above if that variable choose is equal to 1. So a is determined as a random integer between -5 and 5. Choose is either 0 or 1. Based off whatever our variable choose is, that determines what our value is for b and what statement would be in our problem. This just is one way to add variability to a problem, since we could have an addition problem or a subtraction problem. But if we do include things like this, we also need to look at defining our answers based off that same choice. So in this case, our answer would be a plus b if that variable choose is equal to 0, or our answer would be a minus b, since that statement would say subtract the two numbers above, if choose is equal to 1. So now in the question text, well, I didn't set this up very well, but we'll say a and b, and then statement 1, and then our answer. So we'd want to format this a little bit better if it was a question to students. And this should be not answer, but answer box. So now what we have is the list of our two values that we created. And then based off that choose variable that's being calculated in the background, students don't see it, we're told to subtract these two numbers. And we can see that that result would be -6 versus a different iteration would have us adding those two values. So again, the if statement allows us to define specific variables based off a previously established value or even text in the problem.